I was being honest with my nephew about where I was for most of his life. My nephew Jake turned 18 last month, and my sister Lisa threw him this huge graduation party in their backyard. The whole family was there. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. Jake had just gotten accepted to college and was feeling pretty good about life. During dinner, Jake started talking about his future and how he wanted to travel the world after graduation. Then he looked at me and said, "Uncle Mike, you're so lucky you got to work overseas for all those years. Tell me about Africa again." The whole table went quiet. My mom started fidgeting with her napkin. Lisa shot me this warning look from across the table. For the past 6 years, my family had been telling Jake that I was working construction jobs in different countries. It was easier than explaining the truth to a 12-year-old, but Jake wasn't 12 anymore. He was about to be an adult, and I was tired of lying to him. I put down my fork and looked straight at him. "Jake, I wasn't in Africa. I wasn't working overseas at all. I was in prison." You could have heard a pin drop. Lisa's face went white. My dad actually choked on his drink. Jake just stared at me with his mouth hanging open. "What?" he whispered. I took a deep breath. "I got arrested when you were 12 for selling drugs. I spent 6 years in state prison. I got out 4 months ago." Lisa jumped up from her chair. "Mike, what the hell are you doing? We agreed we wouldn't tell him until he was older." "He is older," I said. "He's 18. He deserves to know the truth." Jake's girlfriend Emma, who was sitting next to him, looked completely shocked. My mom started crying quietly into her mashed potatoes. Jake leaned forward. "You were in prison this whole time? All those stories about building schools in Kenya were fake?" "All fake," I admitted. "I'm sorry, Jake. I wanted to tell you myself instead of letting you find out some other way." That's when my brother-in-law Tom decided to chime in. "This is exactly why we didn't want to tell him. Now you've ruined his graduation party." I turned to look at Tom. "You know what ruined it? 6 years of lying to him." Jake's smart enough to handle the truth. Jake was quiet for a long minute, processing everything. Then he asked, "Why did you get arrested?" Lisa tried to interrupt, but I held up my hand. "I was selling pills to college kids. I thought I was just making easy money, but I got caught in an undercover operation. I was stupid and I paid for it." "Are you done with all that stuff now?" Jake asked. "Completely done. I've been clean for 3 years, even while I was inside. I got my GED in prison and learned how to do electrical work. I have a real job now at a construction company downtown." Jake nodded slowly. "Why did everyone lie to me?" My mom finally spoke up through her tears. "We thought it would be easier, honey. We didn't want you to worry or be embarrassed." Jake looked around the table at all these adults who had been lying to him for years. "I'm not embarrassed. I'm mad that nobody trusted me enough to tell me the truth." Lisa started getting defensive. "We were protecting you. You were just a kid." "I was old enough to know my uncle disappeared for 6 years," Jake shot back. "I kept asking when you were coming home for Christmas, and everyone kept making excuses." That hit me right in the chest. I remembered all the holidays I missed, all the birthdays, all the important moments in his life that I couldn't be there for. "I'm sorry, Jake," I said. "I'm sorry I wasn't here, and I'm sorry it took me so long to be honest with you." Jake stood up from the table and walked over to me. For a second, I thought he might punch me. Instead, he gave me the biggest hug I'd gotten in years. "Thank you for finally telling me the truth," he whispered. "Can we start over?" The rest of the family just sat there watching us hug it out while Tom muttered something about how this was inappropriate dinner conversation. Jake pulled back and looked at me. "So what's prison actually like? Because I've always wondered, and now I can finally ask someone who's been there." I spent the next hour answering every question he had. No more lies, no more made-up stories about Africa. Just the truth, even when it was ugly. By the end of the night, Jake said it was the best graduation party ever because he finally got his uncle back for real.